The Dallas Cowboys just did exactly what the NFL feared. So we're going to be going through that and 3 other stories in today's video. So make sure to like this video, and if you want more Dallas Cowboys news content like this, make sure to subscribe to the channel by hitting that red button down below. The first story is Cowboys is potentially signing Randy Gregory, and Cowboys Mike McCarthy had this to say about potential picking him up. Randy Gregory was conned into developing an unhealthy distrust of a Dallas Cowboys franchise that for more than half a decade nurtured him, waited for him, and paid him. Now, 17 months later, after Gregory booked on what he called Dallas's toxic fan base, the Denver Broncos have decided to dump him following just 10 underwhelming and injured-marred games. So now Gregory, termed by Denver critics one of the worst signings in NFL history, is a free agent. Is Mike McCarthy open to having him back with the Dallas Cowboys? I haven't been a part of any of those discussions. Obviously, I thought Randy had a fine season his last year here, in 21-21, but I don't have anything to report on that front, McCarthy said on Friday. Gregory had 6 sacks, 19 tackles, 3 forced fumbles, and a career-high 17 QB hits with the Cowboys in that fine season of 2021. That was patience rewarded, as due to behavioral issues and suspensions and punishments, in 7 years with the Cowboys, Gregory appeared in only 50 games, recording 16.5 sacks, 19 tackles for loss, and 52 QB hits. For the Cowboys, this is not an issue about whether they can afford Randy Gregory, age 30, in terms of the cap. They can. His now defunct $70 million deal with Denver is not Dallas's problem. This is rather an issue of talent and of chemistry and trust. Randy Gregory, who allowed himself to be wrongly convinced that Dallas had created a special punitive behavioral clause in his contract, thus triggering his spurning of Dallas for Denver, has 3 sacks in 2 seasons, meaning he's embroiled himself in needless controversy on endlessly more occasions than he's actually hit the quarterback. Should his fine season from 2 seasons ago change all of that? On Sunday night, quarterback Trey Lance returns to San Francisco. As the number 3 quarterback on the Dallas depth chart, former teammate Trent Williams believes that, in time, Lance will be a QB1 again. "I don't have a crystal ball," Williams told Matt Maiocco of NBC Sports Bay Area. "But I think in this league, when you do the right things and you're made of the right stuff, eventually opportunity will find its way back to you. And I think that will happen in Trey's case. And when it does, we'll all see the talent everybody knows that's inside of him." Lance was the starting quarterback with San Francisco for 2 games. A broken ankle last season in Week 2 ended it for Lance, since San Francisco found Brock Purdy after Jimmy Garoppolo was injured again in December. The San Francisco traded Lance to the Cowboys in August for a 4th-round draft pick. Lance is under contract through 2024 with the Cowboys. It remains to be seen when, where, or if he gets a chance to start again elsewhere. The second story is Dak Prescott speaks out on humbling loss against San Francisco. If Sunday night's game against San Francisco was supposed to be a measuring stick for the Dallas Cowboys, then the gap between the teams is ginormous. San Francisco pinned a 42-10 loss on the Cowboys at Levi's Stadium that left their locker room as silent as it was in January, when the Niners ended Dallas's season in the divisional round of the playoffs. "Didn't see it coming," Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott said. "Put everything into it and got punched in the mouth. Called it a couple weeks ago humbling against Arizona, but this may be the most humbling I've ever been a part of. Felt good about the preparation and felt good about everything, honestly. Coming into this game, matchups, and they beat us in every aspect." It was the 2nd worst loss of Mike McCarthy's head coaching career. Only a 35-0 shutout against the New England Patriots in his first year with the Green Bay Packers in 2006 was worse. It was the largest defeat of Prescott's career, going back to a 39-9 loss to the Philadelphia Eagles on November 19, 2017, during his 2nd season as the Cowboys quarterback. "It's a punch in the gut, it's a kick in the ass, whatever phrase you want to put on it," McCarthy said. "We've been knocked down, clearly. They beat us in all 3 phases. We will clearly acknowledge it. I've never been a burn-the-tape guy. I think that is a crock of We're going to go through it. Make sure we're clear on exactly what the expectations are, and make sure we're giving the players what they need to be successful. They played extremely well, and we did not. I thought we had taken a step as a team. I didn't see this coming. I thought the prep was good this week. I thought we had one of our better Friday and Saturdays of the year. But it's like we talked about before. Sometimes you have a great week of preparation, and it doesn't go so well. We did not hit the mark at all. A defense that allowed a league-low 10.3 points per game through 4 weeks gave up 21 points through 6 possessions. A defense that allowed 2 touchdown passes in the first 4 games saw Brock Purdy throw 4. A defense that recorded 14 sacks in 4 games sacked Purdy just once. The run defense was hit for 170 yards and 2 touchdowns on 41 carries. Offensively, it was worse for the Cowboys. Prescott completed 14 of 24 passes for 153 yards and 1 touchdown pass with 3 interceptions before he was pulled with 8:47 left to play. Running back Tony Pollard lost his first fumble since 2019, his rookie year, in the first quarter. Of the 11 possessions with Prescott at quarterback, 9 of them lasted 3 plays or less. "I don't foresee a whole lot of winning grades coming out of this performance," McCarthy said. "I think the most important thing for all of us, and I expressed it, just be accountable for what you did tonight, how you played. We've got to clean our own house up." The Cowboys also lost linebacker Leighton Vander Esch in the fourth quarter to a neck injury. Cavante Turpin, who scored their only touchdown, did not return following a second-quarter ankle injury. Special teams ace C.J. Goodwin exited in the first half after sustaining a shoulder injury. "This game is not indicative of who we are as an offense," Dallas left guard Tyler Smith said. "This game isn't indicative of who we are as a defense. It's not indicative of who we are as a team." The Cowboys will return to California next week for Monday Night Football against the Los Angeles Chargers. "It's still early in the season," Dallas linebacker Micah Parsons said. "I need to help bring these guys together, and we just need to get better. There's no such thing as losing. So tonight we just learned a lesson. We were the team at the end of the stick." The third story is Dallas Cowboys is close to being out of the race for NFC #1 seed after embarrassing loss. The Dallas Cowboys were supposed to announce themselves as the NFC's best team during their Week 5 Sunday Night Football battle with San Francisco. Instead, the Cowboys were embarrassed 42-10 by a San Francisco team that has eliminated them in each of the last 2 postseasons, and surely will be favored to do so again if the 2 teams meet this January. "How bad was this?" said QB Dak Prescott. "I didn't see it coming. This might be the most humbling game I've ever been a part of." For as impressive as the Cowboys have looked in their 3 wins this season, they are now 3-2. You don't want to make any sweeping proclamations in early October, but it's hard to see a path to the Cowboys obtaining the #1 seed, which comes with a first-round bye and home field advantage throughout the playoffs after this loss. On one hand, a loss whether it's by 3 points or 32 counts the same in the standings. On the other hand, San Francisco now own the tiebreaker over the Cowboys. The 5-0 San Francisco essentially have a 3-game lead in the NFC playoff race over the Cowboys because of that. That's what made the Week 3 28-16 loss to the Arizona Cardinals, even with offensive line injuries acknowledged, so inexplicable. Meanwhile, the division rival Philadelphia Eagles moved to 5-0 by defeating the Los Angeles Rams 23-14 Sunday afternoon. The Cowboys have almost certainly been more impressive in their wins than the Eagles have, but they are now 2 games back in the NFC East race nonetheless. Dallas would have to leapfrog the Eagles to win the NFC East and to have a shot to be the NFC's top seed. To do that, they would need to sweep their 2 matchups with Philadelphia, which will come in Week 9 and Week 14.